Hello, everyone. I hope we are doing well. You had a great week. Let's see if this will work this time. And it did. Look at that. This. Okay. Let me clean off my table. I really should move to a glass mat. It would be so much easier to clean. Good morning, Vicki. Good morning, Cordelia. How are we doing? All right, we're going to have fun with our scraps today. Good morning, Gwen. Okay. Now, I'm still in Christmas mode. Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I have a lot of are Christmas cards. And one of the things that I do is, a couple stores that I go to, I always look at what Christmas cards they have on sale. You can get really good deals, and if I like the fronts, then I purchase them. Yeah. So we're going to use some of those up. Good morning, Jeanette. Did I say that right? I'm horrible at names. Absolutely horrible. Welcome. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of create this like a journal type thing, building off of these because we can. And I don't know how it's going to work, but we're going to see what we can do. Oh, good. I did that right. Well, welcome, Jeanette. I am glad you are here. All right. So, yeah. And at one point, I found these. These are just, it's like a felt. I forget what this is called. It's a felt. And it's a card. So, just wow. That's all I can say is just wow when it comes to this. So we're going to incorporate some of the envelopes, see how we put this all together, and just have some fun. I pulled out all of my scraps for that as well. So I have these off to the side. Well, welcome. Is that Maz? Yes, welcome. I'm glad you are here. We are playing with our scraps. And yes, it's still, Christmas because I have all these cards. So we're just going to have fun with it and kind of create a different kind of journal type thing. So these are all the ones that I found. I always go with the vintage looking ones. Some of them are landscape like these, so I'm going to put these together. I absolutely love that one. And I know I'm showing these and we make cards. That's what's funny, right? I'm just saying. I have that one. So they're the landscape. So let's get them sorted. That was pretty. So is that one. And yes, the glitter all comes off. Okay. So we have these organized. So, what I was thinking, and again, I don't know if it's going to work. I do not know. But if we take this, and there'll be different sizes, which I think is pretty cool. If we take these and put them in here, like that, so that when it opens, it does one of these things, and then we can decorate it. And then we can just have fun putting all of the pieces together. So almost creating like little tiny folios when it comes to this. That's what I'm thinking. Now we could also do this. And we can also cut the cards as well. So don't think we can't do that. But we can connect those like that. And then have that come in like that. And then we can flip that over, and then we can put this one here. So we have two of them in there. And then they'll just keep connecting, if that makes sense. So again, using envelopes to be almost like that hinge is what I'm thinking. What do you think? Beth, hello, good morning. How are you? Marion, okay. Well, welcome, Marion. I'm glad you are here. Snow? Oh, my goodness. Yes, we're going to have more winds coming in. So, yay. All right. So the only thing that I'm going to grab, let's focus on this one first. Are some envelopes that I can't figure out how to open. Okay. Oh, there we go. Again, if we take these envelopes, because I always have spares, we can line these up, and we can use this as the hinge. All right. Or we can just glue that down, and this will still be the hinge. So you'll see what I'm looking at as we come through to put these together. But why not use up our cards? Right? Right. Because we can bend these back and forth. So, like that. Because these have that sticky thingy going on here. So let's get our envelopes to be our base. Okay. Now, I always like to add glue. So we're going to close these up. take this and create that hinge. Now, if your envelopes don't have the sticky strip, that's fine. You can just do the same thing. I'm acting as if it doesn't have that. And then I'm just making sure they're lined up, which of course I'm not, but that's okay. You just go with it. You can refold. And see, now we have another page. And you can put as many as you want, and it's going to give you that thick border to it. And a pocket at the same time. On some of them. So, how has everyone's week been doing? Okay, good morning. How are you? So, I am on the East Coast. So, it is 9 o'clock here. Now, you can also do this with the mail that you get. Did I do that right? Yeah, okay. I'm not sure I did, but you know what? We can go with it. There we go. That's my front. That's this. So this is a quick and easy way to create your base. What's nice with envelopes is they're just that little bit bigger, and then these are going to come off this way, because then it's not going to go, I don't want to put these right up to that edge, because then it's going to make it too bulky. I want it to be able to open. So you can either center it on your envelope, because that's what's great with an envelope. It automatically creates that mat as well. Because then that one's going to go there, or whichever one I choose. And then this one can go here. Now, if your envelopes don't have the sticky strip, you could just put glue here, and then now you automatically have a pocket. These just have that sticky strip going on with it. And then we can do the next one here. And let's add some more. Because you guys know me, I like a chunky, chunky journal. So how is everyone's new year going? I hope it's going well. Oh, yeah, no, Easter. Easter. So we are making journals out of those extra envelopes that we acquire. I'm still in Christmas. And I know it's funny. Like I said before, yes, we are card makers as well. But when there is a sale on some cards that I see, or when my sister sees them, I do get them. Because they can be used. And come on. glue the way you're supposed to. So how many do we have here? And then you can see by lining this up, you're creating your spine when it comes to that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is 1, 2. And as I save those envelopes, 3, 4. So if I go here, let's see what we've got here. And you don't have to use just landscape. You can create your front out of, I want this one to be the back. So I just need something. For here, we can use cardstock for that. Put that one there. So this is going to be very interactive. All right, so that's what we're going to go with. Go! Okay. Oops. And I'll definitely get my ribbon in there, but I do want that to be my cover. So you know my paper clips are going to come out. And again, depending upon how you take your Christmas cards, and you can even use, this could be a good way, or this is a fun way. If you receive many Christmas cards, this would be a good way to showcase them. You can make little journals. I do like to keep the ones that I do receive. And then we're going to put this one here. So we're going to get that. So this is actually going to sit like this. Good morning, Caroline. How are you? I did a terrible job as well, Cordelia. Yes, I did. You're getting, so Jeanette, you're getting ready for your duathlon events? What is that? It sounds interesting. Ave, I think it's a great thing that you do, how you share your cards. So, I'm going to use this brown because we want to get our ribbon in place first, because that's going to sit underneath our two covers that we have. So that one's my cover. This one, or should that one be the cover? I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. So I'm going to line this up and just roughly, just ever so roughly, we're going to find the center. So for this journal, I usually wait to do my covers and my back. But for this one, you kind of do want to, kind of got to get your covers set, and I need a pencil because I'm going to put an F here. Just saying. Because you need to get your ribbon in, or your closure in place. And then we'll put this one here. And we'll put a B. All right. And I didn't want to... Oh, too late now. We're going with it. All right, so let's get a piece of ribbon. Now, I always add a little bit extra because my journals will end, or books, whatever you would like to call them, always go a little chunky. And we will remove the backer. And then I just fold this in half. And I pinch. And I place. At least for this style. And then we'll just bring that around. Well, now, yeah, I know you're all seeing it. You're all seeing it. Relax. Okay, here we go. This is crafting at its finest, people. Yep. Almost closed the book. That would have been absolutely hysterical. And now my ribbon is off. So, never have the back showing. Let's try this again. Yep, see, no stress. We just keep going. We make it work. Now we'll pull this around like this. See, all is well. And for my new viewer here, yep. Yeah, we just have fun. We do not stress. Only me. All right, I think this is going to be my front. And I'm just going to put that down like that. And since this has like a glossy sheen to it, like some cards do, I am going to use some double-sided tape as well. Now, if you wanted to, I mean, as we get into our pieces, we're going to do a lot of interactions. And that's where our scraps are going to come in. And I'm also putting the double-sided tape down because it's going to grab. When you put glue, it's like mirror cardstock. When you put glue down with mirror cardstock, it like slides all over the place. So I'll always add some double-sided tape so it grabs and doesn't move. Okay, now I'm going to take it like this, and I'm going to do this to make sure that I don't put this one on wrong. And it can actually go either way. So that's like that, and then that's like that. Yeah, that's what I want. So Biddy. We all love Biddy. Is Biddy in the house yet? No. Oh, Gwen, you're up to day 12 on the fragments. Yeah, they were fun, those tangles. It's different. I had to get used to it. Had to get used to the fragment tangling. And then we'll put this one down here. So now our covers are on. You always want to, have your covers set because it's got to enclose your ribbon. And you want your ribbon to go around and to go around this as well, the way that we have that. So now when we open this, so we're going to put this one here. Now you can also put it here, because now we've got a flip. It's an automatic flip. And you can keep this here, so like as you get your cards for the season, whatever season that is, you can keep this open. So again, it's just a way to house your cards. You can also do this with, cardstock as well. You don't have to use envelopes. I always seem to have extra envelopes. But I think I'm actually going to keep all of these to this side. And then it's almost like a book inside of each page, because we're going to decorate this as well. So that one's going to sit there. And then you don't lose the beautiful sentiments that are inside. And you can see we've got that flip there as well. So this one's definitely going to go here. So we're going to get these set in. And since they're not going right up the fold, it's going to have room. Lots and lots of room. And again, if you have any questions, please try to put them in caps, because then I'll see them. I had to Google it. Running cycling. Jeanette, that is awesome. That is really awesome. Now, as you put these in, you could also make these pockets. Side pockets if you want. Let's make sure I'm putting this in the right way. Okay, I am. Ooh. And then the rest of our stuff is all going to be our scraps, whether we make pockets, other flips, or anything like that. Ouch. And that is the start. So you can see that even though we only have those like 5 envelopes that we used, here's a flip. And we're going to put something in here. And then when we turn, we're going to put something here. Now we have a flip. We can put something here. We're going to do something on these pages. We're going to do something on those pages. And then the same thing. So you have these multiple flips within each of your pages. And then we're going to do something out here. And it just continues to grow. But you still get to, if you got those special cards, you know, if you have, you know, cards that you think are special, or you don't like to, my grandmother never got rid of any of her cards she received. Yes, we had boxes. Absolute boxes. And I treasure all of them. Absolute all of them. Just trim that. All right, so now the fun begins. So I have some paper pads, or not paper pads, but those loose pads from, you know, kits that you get, and everything else. And, you know, we never know what to do with these. Well, this is what we can do with them. So I'm going to start here. And you can see it lays flat, which is really cool. It probably won't lay flat after I'm done. So I'm going to trim this down, top to bottom. Now let's measure our envelope. So 7 1/4 by 5 1/4. So basically, we're going to go with 5 by 7. I know you were all saying, Des, they were 5 by 7 envelopes. I hear you. I just like to make sure. Let's see. You all are very inspiring with the exercising. I know I have to do it. Oh, well, no, that's perfect. All right. Well, let's see if we can get this side perfect. I don't think we are, but that's okay. Because, so we've got our perfect height. And I'm going to take that. So there's times where we just don't know what to do with these, but we love the images, like this one. I absolutely love it. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to, why is that? Do these warp? That's not good. I don't want it to warp. We'll let it go. Let it go. And I'm going to score this at 5. So now it'll just say enter time. But we'll see the W. Always have to laugh. So that is going to sit there like that. And then this is just going to be a flip that comes out. And I'm going to glue this down. I want to notch those corners. I'm just going to leave a little bit of a border. And then we are going to put a pocket. We'll create our pocket. I'm going to dig into, perfect. I'm going to dig into these scraps as well. 2.5. Oh, well, now that was made for that. And then we've covered up that flap. And we have a pocket. And what's nice is this is going this, so nothing's going to get caught on that as you slide that in and out. So let's put that there. I'm not going to notch any of my pockets. Just going to get them down. That's a lot of. That's a lot of. Now that's nice. So I'm going to go down in 1/4 inch increments, which will give me 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Now you don't have to put a mat down. I mean, you can go directly with your cardstock. And we have that side done. Oh, what fun. I always have ouchies. I always, always do something. All right. And here we can put, and you can put, if you wanted to, you could put a magnet here if you want that to close down. You could put a band here if you wanted and then slide this in. I'll look at that to say, okay, do I need to put something there. You could use like little tiny, lost that word, Velcro. But I think that's fine with that. You're not gonna bend anything up when it comes to that. Let's make a belly band. So it's going to sit there, and I am going to make this just a little bit stronger with a back piece. I'm going to trim that down just a little bit more. So has anyone started any fun projects? Tried anything new? Because that's always fun. I know. I just placed this down and I'm using my scissors to just cut around it. If you want to use a paper trimmer, you can. And I'm just going to put glue on the top and the bottom. So now we have our belly band. And I didn't pull my little table up. Because I need room. There we go. Now let's dig into, so these are all my scrap cut aparts or cut aparts that I created. But I think that one looks cute. I save them because these are great fronts for your cards, for your journals, all that fun stuff. And I just have like a whole bag of them. And what I also have, so I like that there to decorate. And then I also have this. This is, for those of you that are within my community, the third tier, I show this. I call this my pot of gold. These are all, I love to die cut. You guys know that. And I die cut more than what I need. Always. So, like, you're going to see a project this week where we make these. That's going to come out this week. On my YouTube channel. This will be posted on my YouTube channel. So, love these. 3D. Lots of dimension. Nope, can't put them in the mail. But I save all of my die cuts. And I just keep digging into this and just pulling them out. Oh, oh, oh. I could dig into this forever. Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, if you're a die cutter, it's great to have one of those. Just something little so that you can dig in and enjoy and create cards with. Sometimes if I lose I'm going to put a little bit of tape on that because of that brad sitting there. I always like to protect my brads. And then I'll glue this down. I will always, I'll dig into that and create cards with it. It's very random. It's like working with our scraps. Yeah, I just need to remember that I did that. There we go. We have our belly band. Here's that one. But I love that pot. $100 prayer journals, Vicki. That is wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. Cordelia, no sourdough? No sourdough bread? What's going on? Vicki, have a wonderful day. Enjoy. Oh, you made sourdough yesterday. Okay. All right. We can do that. All right. Let's look at this one that we've got. Let's dig into our scraps. Keep this, my pot of gold there. Maybe we'll add a flip. So you don't always have to use chipboard to create your book, you know, like a scrapbook album. So this is kind of like a journal or a scrapbook album slash journal type thing. You can use whatever bases you have. You could even use all those flyers we get in the mail. All right, so now if that's 7, sorry, can't, that's me thinking. So I'm going to cut this 5 by 4.5. And then this is going to get, not on the 5 side, along the 4, yeah, I'm sorry. This is cut 5 by 5, but on along one of the sides, we're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. And we're going to fold. And I'm going to corner those. And you don't have to corner them. You can just put this right down. And then I'm going to get this glued down to the top. But you can use anything for your base. Like I said, those flyers that you get, if you fold them up differently, because you can cover them in pattern paper. You can wrap them. in pattern paper. And then this here, I'm going to cut. I'm going to keep my trimmer off to the side here. 2.5. Hopefully I don't cut my ribbon. Perfect. So we're going to create our pocket down here. But like I said, you can use anything. Yeah, I needed to make sure I had the pocket right. And again, for some reason, I always end up with more envelopes than I do cards. I hand out a lot of my cards, so I still don't put them in an envelope. I don't know why. Don't judge. No judging. And then I'll take one of the cut aparts. So this is a great way to use them up. Or if you get them from, like, you know, your Dollar Tree, which I think is funny that they haven't changed their name yet. Envelopes are a great base. So I am going to mat these. I think with paper we can use anything that we want when it comes to bases. Cereal boxes or cracker boxes. And I started saving those. Yeah. Just make sure you use them. Now you can measure your cut aparts. I just like bringing in my large scissors, using those, and then these will actually be the closure for the flap. So you don't always have to have a magnet. You don't always have to use Velcro or anything else. You can actually use your cardstock to have your closures in there. All right, so now let's choose our papers. Oh, yes. Now that was cut to 5. And again, I'm just grabbing into my scraps. I'm not using just that collection. Save that there. I am digging in. Now this is 4.5 by 5. So that can go there. And I was thinking about it yesterday. I think the goal for me or one of my goals for this year and I think the phrase for me this year is going to be use it up. Yep, use it up. Don't always have to have a full piece either. I just like to cover those hinges up so you get that break. You're just creating a design going on there. And as I continue to, I don't know if I want to purge, basically, clean, straighten through, you know, all that fun stuff. I am finding all of this stuff. It's like, okay, we need to use it. Let's use it. So here, I'm going to create a band. So we're going to create an element within an element. We're going to turn this into a pocket. And I'm just going to put that down just a little bit. Line that up. I'm not going to put anything here because we can journal on that side. All right, so we have that. And then I know in here I thought I saw, yes, so we have little tags. Tiny, tiny tags. So we can put one there. So it was funny. I'm sure some of us watched Biddy yesterday. Oh, I have to have 3. Gotta have a third. So she did announce that, yes, I am going to go to Paper Ganza this year. Yeah, Biddy did a good job convincing me on that, because we all know Biddy does that. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. She's just, hey, Maddie, how are you doing? I hope you are well. And now when this comes down, we have our closure. So there's some interaction there. And it'll hold that flap down. So there you go. And you can also do that like with the side. If this was smaller, you know, if it was more skinnier, you can do that on the side as well. Oh, let's put something in here. Where we go? Now look you. Always check to make sure that your pockets are clear. We can put that in there. You can even put, so if you get like a small card, you know, why not put that there? And when if we put it in this way, surprise. So you have that, and we have that. It's also a good way to, house, your cards or hold your cards. Let's just dig into some of these cut aparts. Oh, that one's cute. We can put that one there. So you're creating layers as we go, which is fun. Here's a big one. That's a lot of gold. So we have that. So here, so always have your balance. And what I mean by that is, and I know I had to learn this because I would just create layers upon layers upon layers and upon interaction and all of this stuff that I would put in here. And then when I would go to close, I always ended up with the alligator mouth, which on some things I'm okay with, but it was happening on every single one. So I needed to tell myself, okay, we need to stop. We don't need to do that for every single one. So keeping this flat like this and just having some of your ephemera in here is perfect. And again, when the recipient opens this, you can put a photo here. And you have some flat things here. Here, this is getting layered up as you keep going. So this one's going to have more of the dimension. So keeping one side flat-ish or plain, let's say plain, and then the other side can have the bulk of it. And then knowing that this side's pretty flat, I'm going to keep this one flat as well because this does have bulk. So always keep going back to look at, and every once in a while, just keep closing the journal to say, okay, where am I at? How much can I add? When it comes to, pockets or anything else. And then you won't have that complete alligator. Because we used envelopes on this, these are going to mold. They're going to mold around everything, which is what I really like. It just moves around. And even though it's going to get chunky, it's still going to feel good in the hand. I hope that makes sense. I hope. So for this one, I could put a pocket here to go this way, but we've got this lip that's going to cause a problem. So because something could get caught on that. So what I'm going to do, I still want the pocket to go out this way, meaning I put things in this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a strip. We're going to go 7. And we're just going to put that in the center. And I'm going to cover up that lip. And we can even come out just a little bit more. So this is going to be just a decorative piece. And we're going to get that right to the edge. And now we'll form our pocket. So yes, so Biddy was funny because I just happened to pop in real quick. And she's like, well, I announced it. Okay. So yes, I am going to Paper Ganza. So for those of you that are going, I can't wait to see you. Yes, some people do put that tape on top. Absolutely, you can do that. And like if I create a pocket that's got flaps underneath to give it a little bit more room to put stuff in, yes, I will put tape over that as well so that it doesn't catch. But I think that is not straight. Yep, I'm pulling her up. Because we can. I had somebody say they cringe every time I do that. When I pull up the paper. Why not? We can do that. We can hide it and have all kinds of fun. Ooh. Oh. Well, now let's. Okay, that's not too bad. So I can't wait to go. But the one thing is, traveling with some of my stuff, I'm like, oh, if anything gets lost, any of my crafty stuff, I would be so upset. Hey, Jill. I know I cannot wait to meet you all. This is going to be it's going to be a lot of fun. It's yeah, the Dollar General, they're not dollar stores anyway anymore. It's almost like they're combining into um was that called Five and Below, I think. Um Maddie, you mean the recent ones? I have their inks. They're positively inks. So, but they need to stop coming out with new colors because I'm running out of space in the slotted thing that I have. And I don't want to put a third one in. It's horrible. I know. It's horrible. So that's really the only thing that I have gotten because I want to do good this year. I do not need anything. So the only thing that I'm allowing, because I can't say a no buy, the only thing that I'm allowing myself to purchase within reason. Now, I'll have paper on the list. I don't need it. But when I say paper, I mean the basics. White, craft, black. Those are my basics. I always need those. So I will allow myself to purchase those. I do not nor need to purchase any more pattern paper. Just saying. All right, let's go back to the front real quick. Oh, and if I need like when it comes to my black ink pads, like the Versafine or the Nocturne, to me they're the same. Um, I just buy another pad I don't have luck re-inking the VersaFine ink pads. I find when I re-ink them, they get gumpy. It's a new word. Um, so yeah, I don't like it. Let's work on these pages now. So we have these pages that are over here. Now, even though this isn't too bulky, it's got some bulk to it because it's really thick and it's double layered. So what I'm probably going to put inside here are just pockets or a belly band and no decoration on it. So that's what's going to go in here. So on this side, you know, we could have a little flip. We could have a different style pocket if we want um, to fill this area here. Um, or, I mean, you could have just a big flip where you just have something that just comes down completely. And I think that's what we'll do here on the front. So again, 7 inches, so we need 7.5. And 5 inches wide. Let's see if I've got that in my... No, seriously? Are you telling me? Okay. Of course, that's a perfect piece. Well, that'll work. We could make that work. All right, so I just need this to be cut to 5. Let's make our pieces work for us. I really need to tuck that there. Let's score this. I always like to have 1/2 inch. Oh, have a great one, Caroline. Thank you so much for stopping by. Not ordering until Tessa's next. I am going to have a release. Yes, that is definite. I actually was working on it yesterday. So I did, so you all were very clear last Sunday when we tangled. So every first Sunday of each month, we will tangle. Yes, we will tangle. I really had fun with that. So the one that you all liked, not the gem, but the other one, where I paid tribute to Tripoli, which is the tangle of the year. That is going to be a stamp. So I started that because I can't take what I drew that day to create the stamp. And again, I'm not going to put anything up here because we can journal, the recipient can journal in that area. And we need kind of something-ish dark. Yes. So 4 3/4 by, I don't know. So we're just going to place this down. And I'm going to make a mark with my nail. And hopefully I can see it when I cut it. So that will be one of our stamps. Definitely. Now, we're not going to do a closure on this one because it's going down pretty far. But I am just going to put a strip. What's on the, no, not that side. I mean, and we could even use the same one if we wanted to, just to cover that. We don't have to have a full sheet that comes down. Oh, I like that one. So that covers that hinge. And it also, by doing this, it strengthens it. Just make sure you don't go up to the score line or else this won't close the way that it should. And you can see it stays down. And then I think down here, I am going to add another pocket. Because we can. So yeah, so I'm limiting, I know I'm all over the place. I am limiting myself to just basics. If I should have to replace one of my VersaFine pens. Now, I've already got to it, so I doubt I'll have to buy one. But yeah, when I've re-inked it, clumpy. It just got clumpy. Very odd. And it happens to me all the time. So I know it's me. I absolutely know it's me. It's just saying. So if I have to get one of those, I will. If I have to replace, you know, any of my pencils, which I doubt. So I'm thinking worst case is just my basic papers. Because honestly, I do not need, just don't need anything else. So that's my plan for this year. Use it up. Use it up. All right, and I really like that, but it's going the wrong way. But that's okay, because we can, I got to measure the inside of this, because we're going to put a belly band in here. So that's pretty much 5. So this is going to be 4.5. Let's see that. We're not making it that wide. So we're going to have that. What did I just cut that down? 2 inches. And I'm going to skinny border on this one. Cut that wrong, but we're going to go with it. So I should be good. I should be good. Oh, and if I need to get any, you know, class supplies really don't count. But for my classes that I teach. Hello, Lisa. Welcome. Well, hello, Holly. Am I saying Holly? Is that how we're pronounced? Oh, you're welcome, Holly. Yeah, so every first Sunday, we will tangle. But Holly, also, I have a community. The first tier's free. I want to throw that in there. All right, where a new tangle is introduced every month. And we also tangle on the front of our projects as well. So if you enjoy tangling, I know it's fun, right? All right, and there we go. So now we have that belly band pocket. So we're gaining a lot of interaction. Oh, wow, look how far we got. Oh, okay. Oh, hello. Where am I at? So I just have this, and we have this. Let's do the belly band in here. I think this one, I'm going to go top to bottom. I don't have to measure this. It's 7. Got it. So let's... so yeah, so I do have that if you like tangle. And again, it's just one a month, and there's so much that we can do with just one tangle. Absolutely. And I do have the second tier. Now there is a fee there. That's $4.99 a month. Where we are currently doing our fragment challenge. Every day a new fragment's coming out. And I have to admit, that was challenging for me when it came to fragments. So kind of cool. I like to be challenged. And I don't know what that measures. So let's go here. That's too wide. There we go. So we do have that. So obviously, Holly, you know my channel here. Cordelia, you have a channel. Biddy. So, all right, so you started watching Biddy. So those of you that have channels out there, give them to Holly. Get them up in there. I know Beth. Oh, Holly, that's wonderful. It is relaxing, you know, and I use it for that as well. Like I believe I'll be, you know, tangling later on because, you know, again, we're getting more wind. Lots of wind. Yeah, Maddie, I don't think I'm going to use anything up either, but, and even glue. You would not believe what I found in glue. Wow. Mm-hmm. To the point where, okay, I think I need to check to see. I really like this strip, so I'm going to put this strip in there. I just want to decorate. So yeah, so that's what my no-buy is kind of sort of going to look like. Now, unfortunately, I do have my weaknesses. My weaknesses are Christmas and possible collections. And Tim Holtz. Just throwing that out there. Yep. Here, let's make a double pocket on this one. What do you think? Because we can use up a scrap. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see, this is 5 by 2 1/4. So 2 by that. So we can put that there. Let's get that one there. And again, your interaction can be very simple. Now I do. Okay, I got this one wrong, but that's okay. You know what? We're gonna go with it. So gonna go with it. And that's a police officer going by with sirens on. Sorry. So we have that. We don't have to worry about this divider because we're not going this way. We're going this way. And I like this skinny one. So that's about 1 1/4 by that. So I think, will it? No. But we can trim it. So, yes. We are just, I know, we're just going to cut it. That looks great. So fingers crossed, I'm going to make it through. This one's going to be tough. I did not do well. I did well all throughout last year with just getting the stuff, you know, for me that I needed. I did really, really well. Until. Very much until. All the Christmas collections came out, meaning the Gina K kit, Tim Holtz kit, and the Greatery. I can't even, no. Cannot fill you in all that. You would be so upset. Okay, let's see what we've got. I think what we have left, yes. We just have left our front and our back. To do what we want to do here. So the back one, like if you're using cards that you've received during the holiday, you know, it all depends on how they wrote. You know, if they wrote up here, then you could put a pocket down here if you wanted to. Because again, this is, you know, even though this is a landscape, this is how this will work. All right, so you've got a pocket this way. This flip is coming out this way. Lift this up. You've got your belly band. And just because these are sitting this way, it does not mean that you cannot have this sitting this way. Again, it's a journal. It's going to go all over it. And it's what you want to create. Oh, thank you, Biddy. Yes, yes, yes. I could start a Windy Tangle collection. You're funny, Biddy. You're funny. But I am glad, back to that. I am glad because it does. It calms you down when it comes to Zentangle. Okay, so for this one, I am going to turn this, and we're going to put a pocket going this way. So, again, using up my scraps. Boop. So we got that. And I'm going to move it up just a little bit so that it's not too close to that edge. No. But I can use this one. Let's measure this. And what's that? Yeah, I would have many collections on that. So what are you guys doing? Are you guys doing a no-buy, or is there something that you're looking out for? Because it's tough. Yes, Sala's a good one. Yes. Linda, hello. And then we'll put that there. And we can put that there. So again, even though I used the landscape cards, it doesn't mean it has to sit that way. It does not. Again, it's a journal. It's a scrapbook journal. That's what I like to call these. Now let me pull out my cut aparts. And I think there were more. Yes. No, these are scraps going into my scrap bin. Little tags. And you can see as I do this, I don't worry about what matches what. Don't worry about that stuff. Just put together what you will see that comes together. Your eyes will tell you, no, no, that does not work. And I think these are all my Christmas ones too. That does not work with what I'm seeing. But any papers will go together. We don't have to be complete complete matchy-matching. That's the fun in using up our scraps, to see what we can come up with. So Biddy, I did announce, your ears must have been ringing, that you had announced that I'm going to paper Ganza. So I have these cut aparts as well, which I think are cute, authentic. I'm so upset about them not being around anymore. Very, very upset. Okay, that one looks cute in there. So now we just have fun filling our journal. This to me is like the awesome fun part. one. Okay, that's a cute one. And let's go one more. So we have that. Here we have our belly band. There we go. Now, stop that. And that. We got that one nice and stuffed. That's already stuffed. See, I'm just finding things and just putting them in there. I love doing this part. How can you not? Right? It's just fun. Now this I think is, yeah, so that's already done. We don't want to put any more in that. So now we have our little pocket here, which these three things will go. Just like that. And it doesn't matter if that goes up to the top of it. And if you don't have cut-aparts, use cardstock. I mean, you could take a piece of cardstock, and I'll use my trimmer. I mean, why not take a piece of cardstock like this and you can put that in there. That could be a photo mat. That could be, you know, anything that you would want that to be. So if you don't have cut-aparts, don't stress it. You don't need to have cut-aparts. Use your cardstock and just cut it up into those sizes. Absolutely. And then I think I am going to add, we can add a different pocket here because we can take this. We're going to use a cut apart, although I think that one's cute. But we'll go with this one. All right, and again, yeah, I really don't like using, well, I do. I shouldn't say I don't. I don't mind using my paper trimmer, but for stuff like this, just put that down and let's cut around it. And then I'm going to keep my finger here. And I'm going to go here and here. And now we have that. And then that is a tuck. It's a tuck because we put glue on 2 sides, not 3. 3 sides is a pocket. At least that's how I define it. And we've got that. All right. Now for this one, for the back. So remember, these are hinged, all right, because these are the cards. So what we're going, or what we can do, and what we're going to do, I'm going to take some craft cardstock. cut that to an inch. I'm going to cut this one to an inch. So I have these. Let me get these away. And there we go. Put that there. So we're going to create another closure that's going to come around when it comes to those. I'm okay if they, you know, flap around, but the recipient may not. And when you're making your stuff, if it's not for you or if it's going to be a gift, we sometimes do have to remember that. We have to think about our recipient or who would be looking at this. Now, what you could have done was put this underneath, but that's okay. So we're going to do that. I'm thinking. Now, this is a heavier weight cardstock as well because this is going to get used a lot. It's going to be bent. It's going to be just worked through. I'm going to go an inch. And I'm going to go an inch and an eighth. Yep. An inch and an inch and an eighth. And then I'm going to cut that 2 1/2. So 2 1/2. Not long enough. And again, we're going to go an inch and an eighth. And we just needed just a little bit for it because I'm going to need one for the front and one for the back. And I do have the name for this one also. For those of you that are new, I name every journal or scrapbook album that I create. I'm going to round the corners. So that, oops. So this is going to sit right here. And then if I close that, this is then going to come up here. Oh, that's way too much. Okay, let's trim that down. And I think We're going to go with an inch. Hopefully that'll fit. Yes. Yes. And same thing. We're going to cut this one down an inch as well. And then we're going to do that. And do that. Those are our closures. Whoops. Okay. All right, so let's get these in place. Nope, I was going to pull out the vintage photo. No vintage photo today. And I'm going to line this up just over. The score line's going to come off. And I'm using my ribbon as the guide. So now that will come up like that. You can squish that 1/8 of an inch down to make it look worn. There you go. And there you go. So that looked like that. Let's flip this one and let's get this one in place. Hold that. Okay, now that's just not the only closure, so hang on. Be right back. Now, I know I have them. Well, okay. I know I have them, but what's going to go on here is a Velcro dot. And then that's going to be the closure for that. I just can't find them. And I know they're in here somewhere. Wow. And I know I have 2 batches of them because I couldn't find the first batch. So I ordered it because, you know, that's what I do. Okay, so that's what's going to go here. But what we're also going to do, only me, we're going to go back into our pot here. That's too flimsy. I want to see if I can decorate that. We could use that because it's nice and small. There's another one. That's like a matching bookends. I love this container. Yes, I do. Oh, we can put a strawberry. No. I'm funny. Well, at least I think I am. I think that's what we're going to go with. So yeah, if you're a die cutter like me, Biddy, I know you're not. I don't know if she's still here. Oh, well, hello, Deborah. Welcome. Lynn. Yes, yes, Lynn. Yes. And you know, every time I can't find it, I order it again. And that it's a horrible cycle, and I'm not going to do it this year. I am not going to do it this year. So just know, guys, that there's going to be a Velcro closure here because I'm going to find them. I'm going to find them. Yes. But to just decorate that tab, because that's just annoying me, we are just going to put our little snowflakes here. Because I also want to dig into my die cut stash. I love that box. Absolutely love that box. So that'll have a Velcro closure. This will have a Velcro closure as well. Now, if you don't have Velcro for your closures, you could create a band that goes across this, and then this would just slip into that band if you wanted to do that as well. So like if I wanted to take just a thin red strip, why don't we do that? Let's do that. Because then I'll feel better that it's a finished project. And I can add metal. You guys know I always have to have metal. I gotta have metal in my projects. No matter what that project is. All right, I am going to take this and I'm just going to glue this to that strip. And it doesn't matter that I put the snowflake on it. It's all good. Again, it's a journal and it's paper. Just have fun, guys. There is just so much that we can do. So much fun we can have. And I'm just going to cut this using my long shears. There we go. So now we'll have these bands that will go across. Now, I need to know what length this is, because we're going to make the bands pretty long, so 3 inches. Where's my pencil? We're going to go 3 inches. There we go. All right. Yeah, I like that. See, we adapt. We adapt. And I like the fact that we can adapt and I can add metal. We all have that one thing that we have to do when we create, right? For me, when it comes to journals or albums, I've got to have metal. Even if the metal we're adding is a paper clip, I've got to have metal. And it's like whenever I tangle flux has to come in. I like to call those things my little creative quirk. Or we can call it a signature, except I'm not a serial killer. I'm a serial crafter. There we go. How's that? Yeah. I can't. Okay. The Brad, I think, is winning. No, it's not. So I made it this long because the Brad prongs have to come out. And they couldn't go up and down. They had to go side to side, which is fine. And I am also going to pull in some double-sided tape. Yes, and you could have, the tiniest magnet could have worked as well. I just didn't want to do that. So now I want to do this. Yeah. And when I do that all the time with my supplies, it's horrible. We know, Benny. You're not that. Oh, thank you, Deborah. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Again, you could either be an obsessive like me after the holidays when I see a card collection that just looks vintage or has a beautiful scene. I just buy them. Um, and I have a price limit too. So, like if there's like 5 cards there and on sale it's $25, no. Um, but and I think that this is just and again, I always have extra envelopes. I don't know how I do that. I really don't. I don't know how, well, I'm sure I can figure it out. But I always have extra. I am going to put double-sided tape down over the brad areas. cover that up. And basically so that they don't spin. If they continue to spin, it'll wear into the paper. All right. Yeah. You absolutely, Cordelia. Please, with all the paper that we have, yes, we can make our envelopes. And I actually did that this year. And my brother-in-law was really impressed. He goes, "Did you make the envelope?" I said, "Yes, I did." Because I got I actually got for Christmas, we're just going to put that there. I actually got for Christmas, and I'm going to move that up just a little bit. For my sister and my brother-in-law, I'm going to hold that down because that needs to really set. Again, slick paper, not liking glue. Need to get that double-sided tape through. And then we're going to work this. And what I mean by work it, we're just going to bend it. We're going to make sure that she bends. So that we can then slide it. I should have not have put the snowflake on, but that's okay. We can do that. And we're going to do that. We're going to overcome this. Just saying, we are going to overcome this. Get out of there. You think you're going to win. Yeah, you all know what happens or what it means when I start humming. Mm-hmm. 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 And I know you're all going to cringe with what I'm about to do. So don't panic. Remember, don't panic. It's paper. And as paper crafters, we have lots of it. Yes, we do. Lots and lots. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we can fix whatever we need to fix. Mm-hmm. 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 All right, so now while that glue is holding on that piece, we are going to make another closure. Yes, yes we are. But I do need heavy cardstock for that. So here we go. All right. So now we're going to redo this. One and 1/8, 1 1/4, 1 1/8, 1 1/4. We're going to round them again. Oh boy. I should look at it this way. Maybe. Nope. And now you all are seeing an operator not being able to work a hand punch. All right, now let's see if yep. All right. It's not for the faint at heart. We're going to snip this away carefully so that we don't, get our fingers. Here we go. Oh, and this is going back in my die cut pouch. And again, we're going to roll that. Heidi, hello. Heidi, are you trying the fragment challenge? I can hear you. All right, so we're going to put that, and we're just going to layer it over it. All good. All good. Good. I'm glad you are. And Deborah, that's okay if you're quiet. I lurk all the time. And I should let people know that I'm there. Lisa, hello. Hot glue. Yeah, that would have worked. Now somewhat. Okay, I get that now. I was beginning to worry, Cordelia, because I'm reading the comments backwards. So I saw that someone was licking your pencil sharpener. Okay. So Lisa, are you asking me if I ship my stamps to the UK? Okay. So we do this, and then again, because it's paper, we can bend it. We need to let it know that we are the boss. And now that can just slide right up in there. And then we just push it out. That's all we have to do. See? We won. Yes. Yes. But you do want to make sure when you have a closure like this, I do like to have both the double-sided tape, and honestly, I used the scrapbook.com. Now, I love their double-sided tape. Absolutely. But when it comes to this, I do like to use my Uline double-sided tape. It is unforgiving, meaning it is very strong. There is no chance that this would come up. I just didn't feel like cutting the pieces, which is horrible to say. Just horrible to say. But you want to make sure that that's through there. Or you could have taken this, put the brads directly through the card, and then they would have been hidden underneath this tuck and here, or I would have you could just put a paper strip here to cover the brads. So, choices. Absolutely. We have choices, and we have the ability to make those choices. But again, it's just paper. Okay, that was really loud. We just have to adapt to it. And again, I'm going to do the same thing on this one because the snowflake is just going to catch. It's just going to cause a problem. That's why I'm not keeping it on there, and it's making that thicker. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to open this up. We're going to start pulling this back away, just like that. And now I'm going to come in with my scissors. Keep your fingers free. And then we're just going to glue this one up on the top, and I'm just smushing that 1/8 of an inch fold that we've created just to make it work. Make it work. And then we're just going to put that right on top of that. No one will know. No one will know. And then we can close this. But before I do, I just want to bend it. And again, we're just creating those bends, just rolling it. Just giving it a curl. Curling irons not needed. And there you go. Now we have a closure. So now, when we pick this up, these won't, flap. Nobody likes flaps unless they're inside the journal, right? And again, these will go into my pot. My die cut pot. Absolutely. So Lynn, these types of closures, and you can again put them throughout as well. Like when you do, if you create a waterfall, they're nice closures as well. Just when you use that and you have that band that comes across, so you would have your strip coming up and then your strip coming down. The one that's coming down, you want it to go down into that band, because you would just take this, and if I have this piece here, if this is the band coming up, you would attach your closure there, cut your piece, and then loosely wrap it. You want it to be loose. You want a little bit of give, depending upon the papers you're using, and then glue that down. And then you would cover that up with your pattern paper so it won't see the hinges. and then your other flap would go in. And again, you just want to put that slight curve so that it goes in and it doesn't tear this. And then just have it hanging down just a little bit. Just remember, I'm one, like, I like to put an embellishment here. Yeah, don't do that, because then it's just difficult for it to come in and out. Just have a decorative cut edge when it comes to that. And yeah, I mean, you can do that all throughout the book as a closure. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love magnets. Um, I love brads, the swinging pieces for brads. I mean, I just, because it's metal, and I do like to add that. But there's some people that they can't have those magnets in their journal, or they can't work with those magnets for health reasons. So, yeah, because those magnets, they are just so strong. Whenever I create a journal or a scrapbook, and if someone's looking at it when I'm at my show, then I let them know there are magnets throughout this, and they are very strong. These are those earth magnets, just so that they know. So I do disclose that. Okay. That is a different type of journal. It's a way to house and use the cards that you get for the holidays. Or again, if you're an obsessive like me, and if you see a good deal, like, I won't spend more than like $3, $5, and there's got to be at least like 10 in there. Why 10? I don't know. It just makes me feel better. After the holidays, when all the Christmas cards go on sale, it's a good way to showcase your cards, because you can design around the sentiment that's on the inside when it comes to that. So this one here, there, now we got our bow. And it's not too chunky. You know, it's not too thick. It's a nice weight, but it's got a lot of interaction in it, which I like. I like the interaction of this. Now I'll put my logo on the back, but this journal is going to be called, so this is the first journal that I'm labeling or naming for 2026. It's going to be called Greetings. And no two names are ever used in the lifetime. So that is what this journal will be called. But let's flip through. Let's flip through. Oh, wow. I'm just catching up on comments here. Oh, Linda, thank you. So Lisa, you said yes. I do not have it listed that I will ship to the UK. If you want to email me, I will ship to you, but I will need to let you know what the shipping is first. Mm-hmm. The shipping cost is just very, very expensive. Um, so for my stamps, at one point I did ship international, but it was just before they kept on raising and raising the prices, and it was just, I just could not consciously know and have them listed for, you know, Canada, UK, Australia, and those would be the three areas, really, that were the highest ones, or the ones that did come through when I had it open. But if you are, I will sell them to you, absolutely. But I want you to know what the shipping is first. And you would have to give me your address, and then I'll put it in my system, and then I'll let you know. And then you can just let me know which ones you're interested in, and then I would just send you an invoice. You would not have to purchase through the site or anything like that. And then, yes, I will ship them out to you, absolutely. But yeah, no, I don't. I just. Mm. And you know what? But hate waiting. Oh, okay. I was going to say, yeah, do that. And we can, and we would still work it that way. I would send you the invoice, and then I can ship to anywhere in the USA on a different address. I wouldn't want you to go through the website for that. We can just set that up. So whatever it is you would want to do, um, that is fun. But yeah, I just can't. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. Okay, so here we go. So again, we used cards, greeting cards. Now again, these are not ones that I've received. These are ones that I have collected, over, let's just say, a long time. All right, let's just go with that. And I absolutely love them. I mean, I'm very particular with them. I mean, these are absolutely gorgeous, and we can incorporate if they come with the envelope or not. So in this case, these did not, or they did, but I didn't want to use them. I wanted it to be the same thing, because the envelope can be your mat when it comes to that as well. Now, even though, sure, I started out saying this is going to be a landscape. Nope, why not? We can turn it any way that we want the journal to turn. Now, that may annoy somebody, and I don't mean annoy in a negative sense. It, again, sometimes, when we put book pages in, some people, they can't have the writing going like this. They've got to have it going like that. And for me, it depends upon the book page and what I'm doing with it. Yeah, there's times where, yeah, my book pages have to go like this. Or there's times where, I just need a page. I just want that page to go in there. And I'm okay where, you would turn it and be able to read it this way. So again, they're just our little tiny serial creative quirks. And I think quirks are great. Quirks help us to create and define how we create. All right. So we used our cards. Now, this here on our front and our back, we had fun with the closure. That was a process. But with this style, when we use the envelopes as the base, you can see the raw edge. It's not smooth, which is fine, but you do need to get your ribbon on first, and you want it to go all the way around the book. Not, I usually stop and just put it on the front and let it wrap around the back. I find it's better if you go underneath on both sides, because this is just so exposed. And you can't wrap anything around this, because then it doesn't lay the way that you want it to lay. At least that's what I find. I'm sure others have figured that out. So in the front, we allowed the cards to continue with the interaction. So when we open this, again, if this is a card that you received, you would be able to see the sentiment that the person that sent it to you wrote. So it's a way to keep those memories when it comes just to cards. Maybe you're not a journaler, but you want to keep those cards. And right now you keep them in a box. Let's get them in a journal so that they sit out so that you can page through them. And then on the inside, we just added a pocket and just added a couple of our cut aparts. When we open this, it helps if you untie it. Right? So we untie our bow. and we still have our interaction. So I chose to keep the cards when I had them on the inside to the right so that when they open, they flip open this way. We have a belly band in this, keeping it flat, same thing. You would see the sentiment over here. And then here we just have a flap up, and we've got some little tiny goodies that more journaling. Maybe that the recipient wants to journal about the year. Um, or anything. And then we have a journaling spot up here. They can put a photo here. They can put a photo here, whatever they would want to do. But you have that double interaction. Here we created, because this was just too adorable to not put in. Again, there's always those papers with these large scenes, whether they're 6 by 8 or 12 by 12. We can incorporate them. So just created a flip. You can put a photo here. Here's a pocket with some more pieces of ephemera to just fill that in. Here we have a belly band, but here's another card. Maybe you received a small one that you can just tuck over when you open it. Surprise! We decorated our belly band that can slide out, and then we have another cut apart in there as well. I like putting surprises in there. Surprise! So, yeah, belly band. And again, we don't have to put any paper down either. You know, usually when we put a scrapbook album, we're used to, okay, I got to put a piece of paper down, piece of pattern paper, and then the belly band on top. Why? Nope. Let the color of the envelope be your mat. Why not? Here we just have a large pocket with lots of ephemera. We put this strip in here just to decorate because we had the flip of the envelope coming this way, and by sliding these in, they could have gotten caught on that little lip and just really bunch that up over time. So by putting this over that, takes that away. Again, we don't have to take it out to the edge. Why? Another way to close your flaps, if you have a shorter flap, here's a pocket. Use your cut aparts, lift up, another place to put a photo or journal. Here's a little pocket for either small mementos or photos. I put the little tiny tags in there, and then we have a pocket down here where they can be journaled on the back, and that closes and holds down that flap. So again, just another closure without using magnets or anything else. And then as we turn, we've got two pockets. So we got a big pocket down there using up our scraps, and then we put small tags as well up into that pocket there. And again, if you don't have cut aparts, use your pattern paper. They make great. Your pattern paper and solid cardstock, like I did on this. Yep, there was pattern paper on the other side. If you want it to be a journaling card, just put a solid piece of cardstock behind it, and then they'll be able to journal on that or add a photo, whatever your recipient would want to do. And then here, when you open this, I just loved this paper, so I just added a strip. It does absolutely nothing. It is absolutely decorative. Yep. But we have another belly band here. Now, I didn't add any extras on this because, again, you got to remember we don't want that complete alligator mouth, keeping it flat. If they want to add a photo here, they can. There is that room to do that, but we just have some cut aparts sitting in there. And then as we get to the back, again, we have that other closure. And then when we open this up, we have a couple cut aparts here, and we use the cut apart as a pocket. So again, you can still see all of your sentiments if you use the cards that you receive. So this is a nice way to capture the memories of your holidays, no matter what holiday that is, that you received from someone, whether it's family, friends, or anything like that. That's a way that you could make your December daily if you make those. Use your cards. Now, I only chose so many envelopes. You can make this as big as you want. As big and as chunky. Absolutely. Totally your choice. You don't have to limit yourself on this because this will just continue to get wider and wider, which I think is cool. But for video purposes, I just stopped with one, two, three, four, five envelopes. And again, you're just connecting the envelopes on how they hinge. Or again, you can use anything that you have. You can use cardstock. You can use envelopes that they came in. Just seal them up. Whatever you have. The mailers that we all, enjoy getting when it comes to that. I just always have, because I hand my cards. I'm horrible to not sending them, but I do donate a lot of the cards that I make. Absolutely. They are donated. My sister-in-law works in a nursing home system, and she covers like 5 different locations, and every month she's getting a box from me. So they are going and being used like that. There you go. That would be awesome. 50th birthday. You go, girl. Yes. I love that idea too, Lynn. Yes. Add photos of Christmas that day. Again, I know when we say December daily, we think of, okay, you got to have 31 days. You don't have to. It's just something that it holds the memories. Now, if you receive a lot of cards, that would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. But you can also make it bigger as well. Okay? So, if you take a piece of cardstock, do you have to use envelopes? No, because I didn't save the pockets of the envelopes. I used them as a base. You can do that with your cardstock as well. So if you take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, you guys want to see that? Where are we? Okay, so we're 2.5 hours in. You want me to keep going? I'll keep going. Why not? Um, so cards are usually, standard A2 size. This is not the paper I wanted. Hang on. Oh, we'll go with it. Okay. So cards that we receive on the holidays or any celebration, okay? Um, and it doesn't have to be a celebration. It could be, sympathy uh, when it comes to that. And maybe that's the way that you remember your loved one. Those sympathy cards that you receive, and you can put pictures in there of them. But you can also take an 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I'll just take 2 of these. And if they're standard A2 size cards, or even 5 by 7, I can take this, and if I score it at 8, and then I'm going to score this one at 8. And again, the best thing is when it comes to your 8.5, you can use that thinner paper because you can layer on top of it. Your cards are going to go on it and provide its strength. And then if I fold this, and then if I fold this one, and if I butt these up, yes. I said, but, and I grab my glue. You could just put glue here. Glue here. Pick it up. Marry them up. And line them up. You just got to make sure you're lining them up along that edge. It's the only thing you've got to know. You've got to line them up. So now you have this. Now, I know what you're going to say, but Des, you have the opening. Yep, yes you do. You do. That's where you could use a thick ribbon and wrap it around. All right? And then your next piece, so this one here creates the pocket. Your next piece, you would just glue on as a flat pocket. And then you would continue that way. All right? And keep going with it. And then that's how, and again, you can have as many pages as you want. So your closure, and you've got to line them up flat. You have a thick ribbon, and it'll stop your pieces from going through. If you're nervous about that, okay, just grab some glue, put it along the edge, close it down. There you go. And there you go. So now you have a pocket that's going to keep turning. You can now create an 8x8 album. So here's a small card that you can just put in there. Here's a 5x7 card. You can layer that there. Have that one sitting there, and if it works out the way they wrote, you could also put this one here. Now you got 2 cards sitting there. Yeah. See? You can have fun. And just have fun with it. So you can make them any size you want. If you're using, you just want to make sure that you at least have a thick, a thick border here. Because even this, you can take 2 pieces of cardstock and put them together. Or just take one and then have a pocket on one side and have this flat. So again, have fun with it. And again, this will handle any size cards or any type of memorabilia. This will be part of February's project in our Tier 3 group. Yes, because I started that. I just need to make a note. All right. So I hope, I'm glad, I know I inspired Lisa. I hope you enjoyed that. And then, as I said, Lisa, if you want to email me, you can. And I will certainly, let you know. But just to, I'll just give you the heads up when it comes to that. And then I know there's, you would have to take care of taxes and all of that stuff. It's just a crazy time. Crazy, crazy time. Holly, I hope you grabbed all of those links that were put in lovingly by Biddy. Biddy, thank you so much. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you. Thank you. When it comes to that, I'm just going through the comments, making sure no one had a question that I missed. I have a feeling I did. And all of that fun stuff. The cat is on the chair. Huh. Yeah. Well, kitties are like that. Mine's snoring away again. For those tiny magnets, Cordelia, I would use double-sided tape. That's what I would use. Yeah, I gave up on the glue a long time ago. Um, Great, Holly. I'm glad. Good. I'm so glad you got them. All right. So, guys, I'm going to let you go. Stay tuned sometime this week. This is the card that I will, well, no, you're going to see a card that has, oh, I put those in my pot, that has these 3D flowers. Paper's awesome. We can control it. Come to our will. All right, so you'll see that project this week. I will be here next Sunday. Yes, we don't need to put my sister in the closet. And we will be able to have our first February tangle because that falls, the first falls on the Sunday, so that was good. I was getting a little nervous because I thought maybe the first Sunday was Super Bowl, where I will not be live on that one. I will be skipping that one. But I think next Sunday we're going to do a lot of die cutting again. I have a idea for a project that I want to do. So lots of die cutting, lots of putting it together, and it's going to be a huge home decor piece. And it's going to take me forever to die cut for sure. All right. Just a reminder for those of you that are new, yep, I've got my community. Again, it's got 3 tiers. The first tier is free. The embossing folder, Gwen, will be posted soon. Just saying. Okay. And it's all about embossing folders. And again, that's the free tier. And every month we get a new tangle that comes out in that group. I do have a tier 2 where we just tangle. It's nothing but tangles, but you also get everything that's in the first tier as well. That's $4.99 a month. And then there's the third tier where you get everything below, and then projects like this, scrapbook albums, just things to the max when it goes into the tier 3. And that is $9.99 if you are interested. But I hope I will see you in the free tier. We do a lot of fun things there, a lot of different techniques. And that's what the community is about. Techniques for paper. What can we do with paper? How far can we push it? How much can we manipulate it to create our art and to create things like this? Keepsakes. Ways to house those memories. If we can't get rid of them and we want to hold on to them, this is how we can do that. All right, guys, enjoy your week. Continue to stay safe and healthy. And thank you so much for being here, for being in my community. If you're there, just allowing me to be part of your creative journey. I'm very honored and grateful. So thank you so much. Love to you all. Take care, and I will see you next Sunday. And stay tuned for more coming. Talk to you soon. Bye.